there's a quiet turning point in a person's inner evolution. A subtle shift that separates those who occasionally attract small improvements from those who seem to reshape their reality with effortless precision. It has nothing to do with louder affirmations, forced optimism, or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it comes from aligning with a deeper inner frequency, one so unwavering and coherent that reality doesn't negotiate with it. It mirrors it. This isn't fantasy, delusion, or spiritual escapism. This idea is supported by profound psychological insight, including the work of Jung, who revealed that beneath our personal identity lies a shared field of consciousness, a living matrix that connects every mind, every intention, every form of existence. When you learn how to align with that field with conviction instead of doubt, reality is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that responds. Maybe you've been in that place where you feel like you're doing everything correctly. You visualize, you repeat affirmations, you maintain a positive mindset, and yet the experience you desire remains distant, blurry, untouchable, like watching a life meant for you unfold behind glass. What if the issue isn't the intention itself, but the strength, the density of the vibration behind it? Today, we're diving into a concept most manifestation teaching: the difference between being in a high vibration and being in a powerful vibration, and why only one of those states has the ability to bend reality instead of merely wishing for change. Before we continue, pause for a second. If you're here, if you're listening, then you're someone who seeks awareness rather than blind hope. Take a moment and comment below where you're watching from. I love seeing this global community connect and grow. And if this message resonates already, make sure you're subscribed, because what comes next may shift the way you interact with reality forever. Now, let's go deeper. The physical world you're experiencing right now, your screen, your body, the objects around you, make up less than 1% of what exists in the electromagnetic spectrum. Meaning, what feels solid and undeniable is only a tiny sliver of reality. You are surrounded by an endless field of potential, yet the human senses can detect almost none of it. This means that every limitation you believe is absolute is only real because your awareness identified it as such. Have you ever pushed, forced, or worked tirelessly towards something, only to feel as if nothing is moving? That's because most people try to change their life by manipulating physical circumstances. But physical matter is just the echo of consciousness, not the source. Every relationship, every financial situation, every experience of health or struggle is simply the crystallized of a previous energetic state. Mystical traditions, ancient philosophy, and modern psychology all point toward the same truth. Reality is shaped mentally first. The world responds not to the words you speak, but to the frequency you embody. And here's where the misunderstanding begins. Many people associate high vibration with feeling temporarily happy, grateful, motivated, or inspired. But temporary emotion is not power, coherence is. A strong vibration isn't about fleeting positivity. It is a deep, embodied signal that radiates from certainty rather than hope. Jung's exploration into the collective unconscious revealed an invisible structure that binds all of existence, a lattice of meaning, energy, archetypes, and intention. You cannot see it or measure it with physical tools, but everything in your life is built upon it. It is the blank canvas behind every physical image. It is the unseen code behind every manifestation. And here's the breakthrough. This structure responds to the one thing most people haven't mastered: the consistency and strength of their internal frequency. Transformation doesn't begin when the physical world changes. It begins when the energetic blueprint changes, when your inner state becomes more real than your external circumstances. Most people stay trapped because they treat the physical world as the authority. They check their bank account and feel fear. They look at their relationships and feel unworthy. They examine their body and feel disappointment. And the universe, neutral and precise, reflects back the vibration they are unconsciously transmitting. But once you shift from reacting to life, to broadcasting a signal with clarity and power, everything begins reorganizing itself to match that frequency. Reality doesn't change slowly because it's stubborn. It changes slowly because most people are operating from the physical plane, where time and effort rule. But creation doesn't begin in the physical world. It begins in the timeless realm of thought, emotion, and consciousness. When you shift your inner frequency with absolute coherence, the change is immediate. The energy field responds instantly. What requires time is simply for the physical world to reassemble itself into alignment with the new signal you've broadcasted. As your internal frequency strengthens, resistance in the physical world begins to dissolve. The denser reality becomes flexible, responsive, and quick to rearrange itself. This is the unseen mechanism behind those moments when life appears to change overnight. When doors open without effort, when timing becomes flawless, when paths reveal themselves with impossible precision, it isn't luck, it isn't coincidence, and it definitely isn't supernatural intervention. It is the result of operating from the realm where change originates. The realm where reality is shaped before it becomes visible. Type in the comments, "I choose to vibrate strong." Not because words alone hold power, but because intention expressed becomes intention anchored. That simple declaration is a signal not to others, but to the quantum field, and to yourself, that you are choosing to shift from hoping to embodying. Now let's clarify something that most spiritual and manifestation teachings gloss over. When people talk about raising their vibration, they usually mean elevating their emotional state: gratitude, joy, excitement, love. Emotions like these are meaningful because they open doors. They soften the nervous system, expand possibility, and create internal space. But emotional energy is changeable. It rises and falls depending on circumstances. You can feel unstoppable one moment and uncertain the next. This is why many experience short bursts of progress followed by long stretches of stagnation. They're depending on emotional waves instead of cultivating unwavering inner power. A strong vibration is something entirely different. It doesn't come from temporary emotional elevation. It comes from embodied truth. Strong vibration exists when your body feels the future you desire as something real in the present moment. It's that same level of knowing you have right now about the chair beneath you or the ground beneath your feet. You aren't trying to believe it, you simply know. There is no negotiation. This is the frequency that transforms potential into reality. It goes far beyond mental rehearsal or verbal affirmations. It is the process of inhabiting a reality before it physically arrives. It is becoming the version of yourself who already has the life you desire. When you reach that depth of embodiment, there is no asking, hoping, no waiting. Only alignment. Hope. Maybe. Certainty declares. Already. One reaches forward. The other stands in the reality itself. If you feel this truth resonating through you, subscribe now so you don't miss the next step. Because what we are exploring here is not motivational talk. It is a framework for conscious creation. But there's a challenge many people encounter on this path. You cannot generate a powerful vibration when parts of you are divided. If your thoughts say one thing, your behaviors reflect another, and your deeper energetic identity is uncertain. The signals you send into the field cancel each other out. It becomes noise instead of command. To shift reality, you must cultivate what I call multidimensional alignment. The mind, the body, and the spirit acting as one unified signal. Your body must behave as if the life you desire is already yours. Your posture, your habits, your daily actions must mirror the identity you are stepping into. Your mind must hold beliefs that support and reinforce that identity, not stories of doubt, fear, or limitation. And your spirit, the part of you that is beyond time and form, must remain connected to the infinite field, recognizing that nothing you desire exists separate from you. You are not trying to attract anything. You are remembering what you already are. When these three layers come into harmony, something extraordinary occurs. Your internal state becomes a coherent frequency. The field does not resist coherence, it reflects it. And reality begins to reconfigure itself with speed that defies logic. Write in the comments, my whole being is aligned. Let those words be more than language. Let them be agreement. Now let's uncover a truth most people never recognize. Everything unfolding in your life right now, your relationships, your money, your health, your opportunities, isn't random. Every result is part of a precise chain of causation operating beneath awareness. And here's the part most people misunderstand. The chain doesn't begin with action. It begins focus. Where you place your attention shapes your internal landscape. Your focus forms your state of consciousness, your perspective, your emotional tone, your level of awareness. From that state emerges identity, who you believe yourself to be. Identity generates beliefs. Beliefs create emotional patterns. Emotions fuel or weaken action. Action produces results, and results become the world you live in. The structure is always the same. Attention, consciousness, identity, beliefs, emotion, action, reality. Yet most people try to change reality from the end of the chain, through effort, struggle, and force. They attempt to rearrange the reflection rather than the source. Trying to change your life by manipulating external circumstances is like pressing your hands against a mirror, hoping the image will shift. The reflection will never move unless you do. Real transformation begins with the origin, attention, and the consciousness it shapes. When you shift your focus with consistency and intention, everything downstream eventually has no choice but to change. Now, here comes the bridge. Your attention is not something passive or harmless. It is the very instrument that shapes what becomes real. Modern quantum research, including experiments like the double-slit demonstration, has revealed a truth ancient mystics have hinted at for centuries. Possibility exists in an open state until consciousness becomes aware of it. Before observation, energy behaves like a wave of infinite potential, able to become many forms at once. But the moment the mind focuses on it, that wave collapses into a single event, a definite outcome, a chosen form. So what does that mean for your life? It means the way you observe reality determines which version of reality solidifies around you. Not through force, not through effort, but through the quality and consistency of your awareness. Manifestation is not about mentally wrestling your desires into existence or obsessively repeating thoughts until you feel exhausted. It happens when your attention becomes intentional, focused, and emotionally aligned with the reality you choose to experience. But observation in this context is not about looking at what currently exists and judging whether it is good, bad, lacking, or complete. It is the practice of inhabiting the reality you want before it appears. It is seeing life through the identity of the version of you who already has what you desire. You become the observer who confirms the reality you choose, instead of reacting to the one that already exists. And when your observation carries emotion and presence, possibilities begin collapsing into form based on what you consistently return to. Write in the comments, I am the conscious observer. That simple acknowledgement shifts your role from someone waiting for life to change into someone actively shaping it. Now, let's make this practical. Your body already understands this principle even if your mind is still catching up. Think about how clearly you can feel the difference between a relaxed Sunday afternoon and an energized Friday night. You do not need to visualize either one. Your nervous system already knows those states because you have lived them. They are emotional signatures stored in your body. And here is the key. If your body can store and access the feeling of familiar days and experiences, then it can also learn to recognize and embody the feeling of the future reality you desire. This is what I call the creative point of view. It is not imagination in the childish sense. It is a shift in inner position. A vibrational stance where you begin experiencing life from the identity you are becoming rather than the identity you are leaving behind. Neville Goddard spent his life trying to express this truth when he said that feeling is the secret. But he was not referring to surface-level emotions or fleeting moments of excitement. He meant the deep inner state where the body believes the future is already the present. It is a calm knowing without effort or question. When you begin to live from that point of view, when you feel and act as the version of yourself who already embodies the reality you want, something profound begins taking place internally first. The energetic field responds to this embodied certainty with absolute accuracy because feeling is the language creation understands. If this brought clarity or value to your day, leave a like. It helps this message reach more people who are searching for meaning and alignment. But here is what separates those who nod their head while listening from those who transform their lives. Understanding without practice changes nothing. Knowledge becomes power only when it becomes embodied. And embodiment requires consistency. This practice begins right now, not tomorrow, not later. Now, you begin breathing the way the future you breathes. You walk with the posture of someone who already lives the reality they once wanted. You make decisions from alignment rather than fear. You hold the internal frequency steady even when the physical world has not yet rearranged itself. Because now you understand that the physical world responds last. Life does not reorganize around hesitation. It responds to inner coherence, to the unwavering signal that remains steady regardless of what the senses currently show. The more consistently you maintain that state, the faster the world around you reconfigures to match it. This is not wishful thinking, it is energetic law. And yes, this requires presence, discipline, and daily self-awareness. But once your mind, body, and spirit align in the same moment and the same intention, you access a level of creative influence that makes the impossible feel normal. Write in the comments, "I live my desired reality now." That sentence is not wishful thinking. It is a declaration of alignment. If you are still here, I already know something about you. You are not just curious. You are ready. You are someone who senses there is more to reality than ordinary perception reveals. Someone willing to embody the shift rather than just think about it. Creating content like this, exploring consciousness, and guiding you deeper into your own power, is the work I am committed to. And I would be honored to have you stay on this journey with me. So before you go, hit the like button if this message supported you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Esoteric Whispers and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next step. Because what comes next builds directly on what you have just unlocked. And before you leave, write one final sentence in the comments. I am ready to vibrate strong.